You weren't born an Orthodox Christian. This is something you came to. How?
It does have something to do with the sense that Christianity had fallen away from its original story and its original all-encompassing, let's say, cosmic narrative. And so it was really, I would say, in searching for that and kind of discovering symbolic thinking on other fronts and feeling like I was confronted by this, like, okay, so I can see these patterns. I can see the world through this coherence. And it's like, why is it then that Christianity doesn't have this? And then after more looking and more searching, I realized that it did. That not only it did, but that some of the most, powerful early saints talked about the world exactly this way, and so when I discovered that, then I looked around and I saw, for example, that iconography, that the relationship between icons and architecture and liturgy and all of this was like this amazing giant pattern, which was reinforcing, manifesting, making you participate in the way the world actually existed. And so it was like this kind of self, this positive feedback loop, I guess you could say it in a good way, where it's like you recognize these patterns, you engage in them, you see them, you sing them. It's like this whole thing where you're engaged. And so I realized that it was really in the Orthodox Church that this was that had been the most preserved and the most alive, and that I would hear, contemporary Orthodox speakers or thinkers or theologians who talked about the world exactly in that way. And so I thought, okay, so this is the place. And also because they kept the idea of theosis as the ultimate goal. Because I think that's, very, very early, St. Irenaeus, which is, like early 3rd century, said the Logos became man so that man would become God. That's some of the earliest saints said that, and so it's like, that's really what Christianity is. And so that's what ultimately led me to
well, it is the greatest of all possible visions.
Yeah. And so, but I think that, it's there latent, even in other forms of Christianity. And one of the things that I've been trying to do is help people kind of wake up to that reality and try to see it wherever they are.
And how's that going for you? Well, no, I'm really serious. I haven't talked to you for a long time. I mean, you've had a strange few years as well.
I've had a strange few years as well. It's all your fault, by the way.
Yeah, it certainly feels that way.
But it's a good in that sense. I mean, I've been surprised in the past 4 years since I met you and you kind of put me out there in the world. Right now I have 90,000 people following me on YouTube, and there's a community of, I would say, symbolic thinkers. I'm giving them a place to write. Like on my website, I'm putting up a blog. There's communities that kind of get together and talk about this, trying to reinvigorate it in their own communities, wherever it is they come from. And so I've been just nonstop excited about, in a way, sad to see that I think the breakdown of Christianity is going to continue. Like, I don't have short-term hope for, let's say, the situation, but I do believe that there are seeds which are kind of being planted, and there are people who are getting ready and will bear fruit. So it's been amazing, I have to say. And thanks for that, by the way.
I guess you're welcome, to the degree that I had something to do with it.